real estate market had taken a turn.
That's just stopped, frozen. Selling investment property was very difficult.
And you did feel the pinch for a few months.
Absolutely.
Realtor and investor Peter Celnicker came to Florida as the market was soaring. After 5 years of savvy buying, he says that by last summer, he was a millionaire, at least on paper. Then suddenly, he says the market changed.
I mean, it was really that quick. Went from an absolute seller's market where you could sell a property literally in 24 hours to a buyer's market where it can take 3-4 months to sell a property. I mean, from someone that averaged over 10 sales a month for well over the last year, I had no sales in January and February.
Okay. He attributes the chill to higher interest rates and a punishing Florida hurricane season. But he and his investment partners had kept some money aside, rented out all of their properties, and weathered what they hope is the worst of it.
So I knew as long as I could ride out those first couple of months, then I'd be safe.
But how many more months could you have endured like that?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
There are a lot of unknowns today in South Florida real estate. One reason, experts now say Miami Beach is perhaps the most overvalued real estate in America.
Construction costs have gone up, prices have gone up, and so there is a point we think that buyers are reluctant to overpay for an apartment, especially when there's an oversupply.
What was your first hint, and when did it come, that in fact the market was cooling?
There was the day that I woke up at the launch of a new building and not a single person wanted it, not a single person showed up, and the feedback was, I think prices are getting out of control. And from that day forward, the market just stopped.
But even in harder times, Zilbert has a way to make money, and he says bail out investors who may have gotten in too deep. His website, condoflip.com, can connect desperate sellers with so-called vultures, people ready to buy at a low price. And he's recently added something called the panic button.
The condo flip panic button. It gives the seller an option. They push the panic button, and then we have vultures lined up, and it's something that is going to probably happen more often than we would like to see, and people will lose some money.
I think there's going to be a lot of desperate sellers.
So bottom line, if somebody were watching you on television and thinking, it sounds a little scarier than last time, but it still sounds like a great way to make money, what would you say?
This is not a get-rich-quick thing. This is a minimum 2 to 3 year investment, and you have to be prepared for contingencies. And if you are, then I think it's a very safe investment. But if you're just jumping in because your neighbor made $50,000, you could get stung.
Some realtors say even if the condo flipping frenzy has cooled for some investment gamblers, Florida's got an ace in the hole. It's still a place where people want to buy homes and condos in which they actually plan to live.